Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into the UK's prime London property market and specifically the market's reaction to the recent budget.
That's right. We're talking about the new high-value council tax surcharge.
Exactly. What everyone feared would be the dreaded mansion tax.
Right.
Our mission today is to figure out why a new tax led to this huge collective sigh of release and what that tells us about certainty in the market.
Well, the relief was palpable. I mean, you could feel it almost immediately. Deals that were completely on hold are suddenly moving forward.
Right.
Honestly, if it wasn't so close to Christmas, I think you'd be seeing a full-blown relief rally right now.
Is it a rally, though, or is it more just
Mm-hmm.
pent-up demand finally being released? I mean, the big reaction was relief because this new surcharge was, less punitive than feared.
Much less. But all that uncertainty leading up to the budget, that really did some damage, didn't it?
It seems like it.
It absolutely did. All those endless rumors about huge tax hikes, they really hindered UK annual growth. It was approaching zero last month. Capital just doesn't like uncertainty. It freezes.
And the numbers seem to show that, especially in those prime postcodes. Prime Central London PCL saw prices drop 4.3% over the last year.
That's the biggest fall since February 2021.
So right after those pandemic-era stamp duty holidays ended, it shows this tax speculation was just as disruptive.
It was. And if you compare that to prime outer London, the POLA market, it's a slightly different story, but tells the same truth.
Because that's more driven by domestic buyers, right? People who need to move.
Exactly. And its annual change just tipped into the negative, minus 0.3%. That's the lowest it's been since the general election back in July 2024.
So the election introduced political uncertainty, which hit that domestic market.
Precisely. And now this budget has introduced economic certainty, and we're seeing the result.
Which brings us to the sales volumes. As soon as there was clarity, things started moving.
Oh, immediately. You had this combination of buyers who'd been waiting, plus others who, rushed to get in before the November 26th deadline.
And what does that look like in the data?
It's striking. The number of exchanges showed up 5% higher than the 5-year average. But here's the really interesting part.
The super prime market.
Exactly. For properties over £5 million, that increase was 21%. That tells you the wealthiest buyers, the ones most afraid of a wealth tax, are coming back.
And you can see why when you look at where these properties actually are.
Yes, the concentration is key. Of all the homes in England and Wales worth over $2 million, 18.5% are in Kensington and Chelsea.
And then Westminster has another 12.4%. So it's incredibly localized.
It is. Kensington, Westminster, Richmond, Camden. That localization is why the market was relieved. It showed this wasn't a broad-based wealth tax. It was politically targeted.
Okay, so the economic fog has lifted. But it feels like we've walked straight into, a political one. That's the new risk, isn't it?
It's the biggest near-term risk. The focus has completely shifted to politics.
And the working assumption is what?
The assumption growing in the market is that both the Chancellor and the Prime Minister might lose their jobs after the local elections next spring.
And the fear is what happens after that. If there's a rejection at the ballot box in 2026, some in the Labour Party might see that as a mandate for something more radical.
That's the concern, that it could be interpreted as a signal to, accelerate tax and spend plans, things that really worry the prime market, like changes to capital gains tax or non-dom status.
So if you're an investor, you've basically just traded one type of risk for another.
You've swapped short-term economic uncertainty for a much longer-term political one.
And maybe that's the real takeaway here, the thought for you to mull over. This whole episode is a huge lesson for any chancellor.
I think so. It really shows that creating the right conditions for growth isn't just about the tax rate itself, it's about stability.
The predictability.
Yes, that certainty, that's the most valuable commodity of all.